Hello folks, Jim here, because it's finally time to talk about the concept ships that went on sale last week. I wasn't able to get to them because of all the hubbub surrounding land claims and a release of 3.0 to a wider audience, but I haven't forgotten. Because I wasn't able to do a concept video, I'm going to talk a little about the Hawk here before we get started answering the question in the title. It was the first purpose-made bounty hunting ship in the game. The Avenger Stalker came before, both as a concept and in the lore of Star Citizen, but it was originally intended to be the premier fighter for the UEE, and only became a civilian craft after it was displaced from military service by the Anvil Hawk, because the Avenger was commissioned by Space Hitler, and everybody hated that guy. The Hawk is a light fighter that was built from the ground up to be a bounty hunting vessel. You can tell because you jam prisoners up the tiny tailpipe of the ship, Boba Fett style. Word on the street is that the prisoner compartment can also be used as a bed for the pilot in a pinch. In addition to the guest accommodations, the Hawk also has an EMP generator to help you disable target ships. So far, I have not been a fan of these devices, but they may come around. They probably will. I mean, it's still a pretty new technology in the game. At first, the developers said that you'd have to power down the ship's systems prior to use to avoid the blast from the EMP from your own ship, which basically would have made it useless without a positively massive area of effect. However, at some point during the 3.0 Evocati phase, there was a line in the patch notes saying that the EMPs would no longer affect your own ship, so the problem may have been solved at some point. Only time will tell how effective the device will become in its final form, though. And nobody can say for certain yet how the Hawk will fly, but it's probably going to end up being a little more sturdy and a little less maneuverable than the Gladius. It should make a fairly nice ship for anybody looking to pick up some solo work as a bounty hunter, which, of course, was its intended design. And that's pretty much all there is to this ship, but the title of this video isn't "What bounty hunting equipment does the Hawk have?" So, how's the loadout? Current thinking is that it will have 2 size 1 and 4 size 2 hardpoints. That's actually pretty good. It may seem paltry compared to the 4 size 3 hardpoints on the Saber, or the potential 3 size 3 and 1 size 4 hardpoint on the Super Hornet, but the potential loadout on the Hawk is nothing to sneeze at. That was actually my preferred loadout on the Mustang Delta back when you could still replace the mostly useless rocket pods with 2 more guns. A bit of speed, a bit of agility, a bit of firepower were all I needed to have loads of fun, but those days are gone. So I put the same loadout on my Buccaneer, and the fun is back. I ran 2 very similar loadouts on the Buccaneer to simulate the potential for the Hawk, and it was fun. You've been watching me lay into ships and pirate swarm with this loadout through the entire video. You can see that the time to kill on most ships is pretty good. But the really interesting thing is the difference I saw when I replaced the 2 bulldogs on the wings with sucker punch distortion cannons from an Avenger Stalker. Despite the fact that the distortion cannon does no physical damage to a ship, on average the time to kill dropped, and I finished the first 3 waves of Pirate Swarm an average of 30 seconds faster over the course of 6 trials. I'm sure most of the difference was due to the greater impact of distortion cannons on shields, but there is a distortion damage mechanic for ships in the game, or at least there was, so it might actually have been easier to follow the ships I was attacking because the distortion cannons were slowing them down. In the aforementioned good Mustang Delta days, I loaded mine up with 6 distortion cannons and went hunting Super Hornet. Predictably, the shields dropped fast, but I also discovered that when I laid into the Super Hornet's engines with all 6 guns, the Hornet slowed to a crawl. And that was with just size 1 weapons. Assuming we eventually see size 2, 3, and 4 distortion weapons, I think the Hawk might do very well with 4 size 2 distortion cannons and 2 size 1 energy or ballistic weapons set to a separate firing group. But even if we don't, the current loadout is loads of fun, and I look forward to trying the Hawk when it comes out in the game. And that's all I have for the Hawk today. Tomorrow you should be seeing how hard does the hammerhead hit in a video from me, which gives you plenty of time to decide if you want to pledge for either of these ships before the sale ends on Monday. And to answer the question I see fairly often in my comments when I make a video like this, no, I did not buy the Hawk. But it isn't because I don't like this ship. I didn't buy one because I can't afford to pick up even 1 in every 10 concept ships that come out. Instead, I use a pile of store credit to put most ships in my buyback account in case I want to get them later. Now, you may be wondering if I'd buy one for keeps if I had the money. The answer is still probably no, but not because it isn't a good ship. It's because I don't want to be a bounty hunter. Thanks to everybody for watching, subscribing, and particularly for commenting. I still try to answer all of the comments, but it's getting harder and harder to do it every day. Just know that I read and appreciate all of them, even when you're calling me an a-hole. And I will see you, probably tomorrow. Hopefully. Yeah, let's shoot for tomorrow. I'll pencil it in.